images that we're getting to you from Kiev, where you can see explosions being reported across the capital right now. We don't have any details of exactly where this is, whether this is in the heart of Kyiv or the outskirts, but worrying really what's playing out right now. Another night of explosions rocking the capital. Reports coming in of heavy fighting also happening in parts of Kiev, in the capital. There have been reports from the Ukraine army stating that they're pushing back as much as they can. They're pushing Russian troops away here to ensure that they cannot enter and capture Kiev. So the fight back is still very much underway right now. You are seeing many missile attacks also being reported right now. In Maria Pysarenko in just a bit. She's going to be getting us details of what's really playing out right now in Kiev. Residents waking up to another morning of fighting and bombing.
Now, the only channel reporting from Kiev that's currently under siege from Ukraine. Here are some of the key developments and the key reports that we've been bringing to you from the ground at this time. Air India has started to kickstart its evacuation flights to the countries bordering Ukraine from today. The airline is operating 4 flights to bring back stranded Indians. 2 flights are being sent to Bucharest, Romania from Delhi. 1 flight to Budapest in Hungary from Delhi, and a flight to Bucharest also from Mumbai to bring stranded Indians back. The UN Security Council has voted on the draft resolution that condemns Russia's aggression against Ukraine, sponsored by the US and Albania and supported by several other nations. Russia used its veto power to block the resolution, but Western nations said that the resolution seeks to show Moscow's isolation on the global stage for its invasion and actions against Ukraine. India has abstained on the UNSC resolution as expected, which condemns Russia's aggression against Ukraine and demanded immediate and complete unconditional withdrawal of Russian forces from neighboring countries. It says it has regretted that diplomacy has been dropped. 11 countries voted in favor of the resolution, while 3 countries, including India and China, abstained. For the first time, the NATO response force has been activated as a defensive measure in response to Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. NATO Supreme Allied Commander General Todd Walters has activated a multinational force consisting of land, air, sea and special operations forces from the allies that can deploy quickly in support of the NATO alliance. The Biden administration agreed to freeze the assets of Russian President Vladimir Putin and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov following the European Union and Britain indirect sanctioning the top Russian leadership. The move was meant to be seen as a warning to Putin that he could emerge as an international pariah if he doesn't end the invasion of Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine could soon hold negotiation talks. Is that even possible at this time, especially on day 3 when the invasion has actually been scaled up? Both countries have showed somehow an inclination for dialogue on Friday. According to Russian media reports, President Vladimir Putin is ready to send a delegation to Belarus, which is just north of Ukraine, for talks with Ukraine. This after the country under siege said it was ready to hold talks over neutral status, calling their decision a move in pursuit of peace. In a televised address, Putin called on Ukrainian forces to overthrow the government and said there are certain nationalistic elements in the Ukrainian army, staff with an agenda. Putin also said that radicals and neo-Nazis who are backed by America are blaming Russia for the loss of life. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said he and his family have been marked as top targets by Russia. Zelensky also called for Europeans with combat experience to fight and join the fight with Ukraine. According to the United Nations, more than 50,000 Ukrainians fled the country in 48 hours.
Let's also get you some defining images this morning. Here on India Today, we've been getting you all the latest updates that are coming in, but also pictures that sum up the scale of the war that's playing out right now in Ukraine. Here are some images that have come in through the night as well that you need to see here on India Today.
This is a multi-launch rocket system barrage recorded on camera in the Oleksiyivka neighborhood of Kharkiv in Ukraine. A car driver using his dash cam has been able to capture heavy rocket shelling. The smooth ride turned into a nightmare. The driver struggled to steer the car amidst very heavy landing of rockets right there on that road. This is in the city of Kharkiv in Ukraine.
Another video of a similar incident has surfaced where the driver had a very close shave. His car was caught in shelling. Remember that there's been a lot of talk, Ukraine claiming that civilians now are being targeted by Russian troops. But with more and more shelling and explosions being reported in parts of Ukraine, civilians being caught there clearly in the crossfire.
Civilians definitely in the crossfire. Images also of Russian tanks. This is the third defining image this morning on day 3. Russian tanks deployed from the Kherson region in Ukraine has now gone viral on social media. Heavy deployment of military vehicles, tanks, utility vehicles, armored personnel carriers has been, these are images that are coming out from Russia showing the war machine speeding up, accelerating, intensifying and rolling into Ukraine.
And we here at India Today for the last 2 days have been getting you all the latest updates from the ground. Facts that have been confirmed by our reporters. Gaurav Sawant at the front lines there has been getting us constant updates of what's playing out. Last night, he traveled from Mariupol in eastern Ukraine to the capital of Kiev. And take a look at what he found on that train journey of how Ukrainians are trying hard not to lose their sense of hope.
There is tension in the air. We are on board a train that's going from Mariupol to Kiev, but we've been stranded at the railway station for several hours and we do not know when this train will move, but we can hear some music on board this train and we are moving in the direction of this train. And we see this young man and this young woman playing a guitar, listening to some music and singing. Let's enjoy. That's really very nice.
Thank
What's
you.
your name?
Darina.
Darya. Darya, what do you do? Are you a student? Are you a singer? What do you do?
A singer.
You're a singer?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And what's your name, young man?
Pavel. Pasha.
Pasha. Your name is Pasha. Pasha, so are you a guitarist? What do you do? Are you a student?
Guitarist.
Ну,
Guitarist and student.
guitarist and student.
Guitarist and student. And what song are the two of you singing?
What's
Здесь сейчас как будет?
this now?
Yeah?
Yeah. This name.
That's the name. This and Now.
Да.
And this and now, right now, in Mariupol, outside there's shelling happening. Boom, boom, boom. Are you scared?
Strange. This is very strange.
This is very strange.
Yeah.
So, are you kind of getting away from this? Are you going to Kiev? Are you going to stay in Kiev? Or you want to just leave and go somewhere?
In Kiev and next tent in Poland.
You want to go to Poland?
Maybe.
And are you from Mariupol?
Yeah. Yeah. It's from in Mariupol.
Alright. So you stay in Mariupol, you're going to Kiev, and from Kiev you want to go to Poland.
Yeah.
Will you come back or you want to just leave?
Just leave.
Just leave. Forever.
Maybe.
Or for a long time.
Forever, maybe.
in the entire train, there are people who are here listening to this music only because it just helps reduce the tension. There is palpable tension because one, there's bombing that's going on outside, and two, we still do not know whether this train will leave, and if it does leave, will it actually reach Kiev? With cameraman Pavan Kumar on board this Ukrainian train from Mariupol to Kiev, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Now remember, for the last 48 hours, capital city of Ukraine, Kyiv, has been under siege. The skyline has been lit up with air defense systems being activated. We've shown you all those systems. The Ukrainian capital, which till yesterday witnessed traffic jams, is now completely a ghost town, Akshata.
That's right. And what we've been seeing also is massive explosions rocking Kiev. Even this morning, we're going to be getting you those updates with our reporters of what's playing out at the capital. In the meanwhile, here's our reporter. What's happening?
Day 2 of Russia's invasion of Ukraine saw its air defense systems firing across Kiev's skyline. What looked like a residential building was on fire. Ukraine says the attacks were carried out by Russian cruise or ballistic missiles. After hours of early morning attack, this is what Kiev looked like after sunrise. India Today, the only channel reporting from ground zero, captured the devastating and haunting images.
This is the ground floor, let's say, or the first floor, and there was a guy inside. It's a sleeping room, this one, with a balcony, and there was a guy sleeping inside when the rocket landed here, and he's fine, but in a shock, but it happened when he was asleep. I cannot even imagine what it feels like to be sleeping and you wake up and this happens at your home.
Sirens sounded across Kiev as residents were told to seek refuge in air raid shelters.
People have been sitting here from 5 o'clock in the morning, right after these loud explosions have been heard in the city center. So not all of them really want to talk or show their faces because the situation now is really tense and everybody understands that the worst probably is yet to come.
Several residents were seen fleeing into bomb shelters, metros and subway stations, as the streets of Kiev remain deserted.
I'm almost in a bomb shelter. Therefore, in any minute, I can switch off. A few minutes ago, we've heard a heavy shelling, a heavy sound, kind of bombing. At 4 a.m. in the morning, there was attack over Kyiv, but our anti-aircraft system protected Kyiv citizens.
Meanwhile, Ukraine President confirmed that Kiev is under siege and that Russian forces have entered the city. He issued a stern warning that the Russian armed forces would seize Kiev within 96 hours, bringing a new Iron Curtain down on Europe.
They have declared me public enemy number 1 and my family enemy number 2. They want to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying the head of the state.
Across Ukraine, explosions were reported.
Viewers can hear this. This is Mariupol. You hear a series. Hear this sound. Hear this sound. This is Mariupol.
Russian tanks entered the port city of Odessa and wrested control of Chernobyl. With Gaurav Sawant in Mariupol, Maria Pysarenko and Jan Husar in Kiev, Bureau Report, India Today.
And President Zelensky also put out a video late last night, a video that's gone completely viral because it actually shows him outdoor. Let's put that video on our screen so our viewers can see it. It's a video, the first time that people have seen Zelensky outside. He's outdoors, it's a selfie video. He's holding the phone and recording with his cabinet. An incredible image. Even as Kiev was being bombed, As fire was painting the night sky, that's President Zelensky speaking on camera, addressing the citizens of Ukraine, addressing the people of Ukraine, saying, we're here, we're going to fight, and we are ready to give our lives for this country. This video has gone completely viral. Listen to what the president has said.
Голова Офісу Президента тут. Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут. Голова Офісу Президента тут. Прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут. Подоляк тут. Президент тут. Всі ми тут. Наші військові тут. Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут. Голова Офісу Президента тут. Прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут. Подоляк тут. Президент тут. Всі ми тут. Наші військові тут. Громадяни суспільства тут. Всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам. Голова Офісу Президента тут. Прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут. Подоляк тут. Президент тут. Всі ми тут. Наші військові тут. Громадяни суспільства тут. Всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
That was the message from the Ukrainian president. What you're seeing essentially in the last 3 days is the fact that Ukraine isn't giving up without a tough fight. And it's been playing out where civilians have been given assault rifles. They're out on the street saying, we're going to defend our motherland. You just heard what Ukrainian President Zelensky also said. We're not going anywhere. We're here, along with all his members of parliament. We're going to put up a fight. Our next report, we tell you about how Ukraine's military is nothing compared to Russia, and yet they're giving it their all.
Put simply, it is a war between David and Goliath. Here is a comparison. Russia's military manpower outnumbers Ukraine's by more than 4 times. Moscow's defense budget is 13 times bigger than Ukraine's. Kiev has a handful of fighter jets and Kremlin has hundreds. As battles rage across Ukraine, including in the capital city Kiev, the Ukrainian army is putting up a brave fight against the Russian army. It's all hands on the deck. From civilians to President Zelensky, hundreds have joined the fight to save their motherland.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут. Голова Офісу Президента тут. Прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут. Подоляк тут. Президент тут. Всі ми тут. Наші військові тут. Громадяни суспільства тут. Всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
The video on your screen is from Kherson city of Ukraine. A civilian stood in front of a large Russian armored vehicle convoy and tried to block their way. Ukraine's own Tiananmen Square moment. The convoy did indeed make its way, but the message was clear. You're not welcome. In another resistance video from the Obolon district of Kiev, civilians are seen arming themselves with weapons to take on the mighty Russian army. The image of exemplary bravery comes amidst Ukrainian President Zelensky's call to join the resistance. The civilian resistance has left Russia fuming. Moscow is accusing Ukraine of using citizens as human shields.
Your nationalist government employs the same tactics as terrorists. They want to use you as a human shield.
Meanwhile, the eastern city of Ukraine, Mariupol, comes under heavy Russian fire. Hundreds are fleeing the city.
We are currently at the Mariupol railway station and the effort is to get to Kiev. Will that be possible? We still do not know. This train is meant to go to Kiev. This is a train that was supposed to leave about an hour ago. It hasn't left just as yet. Our train comes after that. Now the effort is to get to Kiev. In between, it is said that there are some obstructions, not on the railway track but on the road. Apparently, the Russian forces are also moving forward. But right now here at the railway station, a large number of people just want to get out of Mariupol. They're taking this train just to get to the villages. This train stops twice en route. They want to go to one of the safer locations because villages are not being targeted, civilians are not being targeted by the Russian forces. At least that is the impression that these people have. So they just want to quickly get out of here, get out of Mariupol, get to a safe location and be out of harm's way. With cameraman Pawan Kumar at the Mariupol railway station in eastern Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.